leaf fairies. It's a fun activity for fall with kids of all ages. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So I have collected some leaves. I've got my glue and scissors. All different shapes, sizes, colors. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Hi, I'm Brittany, and I am the owner, operator, and artist of Be Creative LLC. And today I'm going to show you how to have fun with a fall activity with your kids. We're making leaf fairies today. So I showed you the list of items you need. And I'm going to use the back of my piece of paper, which is just lined paper, as my gluing medium. And I'll use another just lined piece of paper to show you how to go through the steps of making these fun, festive fall fairies with your little ones. I'll go step by step, and then I'll show you some of the works that I did with my little ones. All right, let's begin. First, I take a pen, just any regular pen, can be any color you want, and I roughly draw the shape of a female fairy, which is just an oval for the head. Okay. You can even come down and do the chin if you want, so it's easier to draw the neck. A skinnier neck on a female, into shoulders and down. And that would be a female fairy. If you're looking to also do a male fairy, I recommend just making them just a little bit more masculine, which usually means a still round head, okay? But their jaw is going to usually be a little bit more square. So I'm going to come down and go like this. Now this is an exaggeration, okay? And then their neck's going to be a little bit thicker. And their shoulders are going to be a little bit broader, maybe a little bit more muscular. So this is obviously an exaggeration. We're making fairies. And voila, and it's a little wide, but it'll work. So female fairy is going to be a little bit more slender, narrower in the jaw, narrower in the neck. A male fairy is going to be a little bit bulkier in the jaw and wider in the neck and shoulders. So I already made some and cut them out. So you would use your scissors and cut them out. If you have an older child, this is a great exercise for them to start learning to use their safety scissors to cut around the outside of the person fairy that you made. So here are my male and female fairies that I made earlier. So now we're going to take these templates and I'm going to show you how to make little leaf fairies. Here we have these really broad leaves. They're aspen leaves and they make great head of hair. I take and cut the stem off like so and put it aside. Now you can use it as a decoration if you want in their dresses, but you don't have to. But it makes a great, beautiful head of hair. You can kind of see it coming together. So in order to do this, again, if you have an older child, they could probably do it. But I have younger kids, so I did this part. I took my scissors and I just cut, snip, snip, and I just cut a little V, as you can see. And that allows me to take my female head and just slide it into the V. And it looks like I need it to be a little bit wider, so I'm just going to go out a little bit more on one side with my scissors and slide the head in there. And as you can see, it looks like hair. Now, I'm going to take this is Elmer's glue. I'm going to take my washable glue, and I'm going to put a little bead of glue here, and I'll show you just a very small amount, so that when I go to slide her in, or have her head already slidden in to where I want the hair to be, I can just press that leaf into my female one's fairy's head. And voila, we have hair. Now, I took this one step further, and I actually had my kids color the fairies before I cut them out. We're still learning to color inside the lines. So I left them on the paper like this, as is, and I had them color whatever they wanted their fairy skin to look like. And then I cut them out. And then we did this step. You don't have to do that step if you'd rather it just be no face at all. Now, I'm going to turn her over, and I'm just going to dab, 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 dab glue. A little bit of glue goes a long way, and that's what I tell my kids. And I just dab the glue on like so, and then I'm going to press her to my paper here, towards the top of my paper, and push gently down to squeeze my glue out in different places. Okay? Now for my male fairy, you could do the hair so it looks like this on them. If you want to use like an aspen type leaf, I actually found it very fun to use a leaf shape like this or like this and cut it to where they kind of had a sideways hairdo. Now, I mean, you can even be super creative and have crazy hair like this. It's really up to what your child wants to do and the creativity that they want to have. So, see, all these different leaf shapes make for a fun hairdo. I want him to have a big, bold hairdo color. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to cut this stem off again. Not much of a stem. Now, men tend to not have bangs, or they could have kind of a slope to their bang as it comes across. I'm going to do a slope right now, since that's really popular amongst boys and men in general. So I'm going to cut at an angle, just a slit at an angle here, just wide enough for my malin's head. See if it's wide enough. Looks like I just need to cut a little bit more of a slit. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's however you would like their hair to be on their head. Again, I just cut a little slit. I'm going to slide his head in. And put it at an angle. And voila! I'm going to take this and flip it up like this and hold on to my leaf and put a little dab of glue and press the leaf and the head together. And there's my little male fairy's hair. I'm going to turn him over, and again, I let my 4-year-old do this so that we can work on gluing. It's a great tactile skill to learn before preschool or kindergarten. So just little dabs so that they learn a little bit goes a long way. Again, show that to you. Just little dabs of glue in the corners. And I'm going to put him up next to my female fairy and push down. Now, we've got our little fairies. So if you didn't want to draw a face or anything before, you could do it now if you'd like. I do find though that once it's glue, the paper gets pretty soft and it is kind of hard to color a face in or anything. So it is easier to do it prior to cutting out, or after they've cut out if you want to have a little bit more advanced. Now we have an array of all of these leaves, and I just let my son go to work. and you can just pick whatever you would like. These look like fun leaf shapes, like so. So I think I'm going to use this long one for her. And again, I'm just going to cut this flat because this is her dress. We're making a very pretty fairy dress. So leaves are kind of curved, so it's up to you whether you want the stem part to show or the pretty part of the leaf. I tend to like the pretty part. If it's really curved like this current leaf, you might need just a little bit more glue. So a nice line on either side and then across the top is what I'm going to do. Just to show you the glue. And it's going to be the very middle of her dress. So I'm going to start at the top and kind of fold the leaf down as we go. Now this happened to go off the paper, which is fine. I'm trying to do 2 fairies on 1 piece of paper. I might just do 1 lengthways on a piece of paper. Now I can pick and choose other colors. Doing the same method. This is where the fun and imagination of watching your child decide which leaf, what color of leaf, the shape of leaf, and where it goes is really fun as a parent. Really lets them explore not only the leaf shapes, but the colors and the textures. So these 3 leaves are very smooth in texture, and this particular leaf is very soft, almost like fabric. So you can kind of see how the dress is taking shape. Now I can keep adding on, making it really beautiful as we go. This one's already pretty flat. I like that. And it's coming undone. But as I add this one on top, it adds a little bit more stickiness. If you need to go back and add a little bit more glue, feel free. They are leaves, so they might take a little bit more. I'm going to move on to shorten the video a little bit to my male. So he's obviously not wearing a dress, but Native Americans wore long robe-like ceremonies as men. So I kind of like this look of this maple leaf here on him. And so I think I'm going to fill in these gaps with these fun leaf shapes here. So I'm going to glue those down first, because that's how I envision him wearing his dress. And I don't want to call it a dress, because it doesn't sound very manly. But in Scotland, they wear kilts. So a lot of men wear flowing type materials that maybe you would consider almost a dress. So, and it's a fairy after all. It's a make-believe figure. He can wear whatever your child or you decide they want to wear. So you can kind of see how it just starts to take shape. And you can add leaves or tuck leaves underneath. And it's really up to what your child sees is right for their dress. There's no right or wrong here. It's just creativity and different tactiles. And now I'll show you a few things that my 4-year-old son did. This is my 4-year-old son's female fairy. And as you can see, he just stacked all the leaves on top of each other. He gave her a walking stick here, he told me, and he colored the face of the fairy. So that was one of his. And here's a couple of male fairies that I did. Little hair and headdresses. And then I did the one here. And my 4-year-old did this one. And he said he didn't want this one to have a dress, that she was too pretty the way she was colored. So I thought that was very sweet. So you can kind of see imagination is wherever you want it to be. It's a fun fall thing to do, to sit down, work on gluing skills, cutting if they're an older child, drawing if you want them to draw the faint female figure or male figure. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun. I'll flip this back over and show the list of things you should have on hand to do this craft. Hope you enjoy crafting with your little one.